Hey guys, it's Aaliyah with Open Doors, Open Hearts blog, and today I wanted to share some of the kitchen storage ideas that I use in our small kitchen. A couple weeks ago, I shared a video where I decorated our home for winter after the holidays. And in that video, I got a lot of comments from people wanting to see my whole kitchen. I thought a really good way to share my entire kitchen was to show you how I store all of the items in our kitchen because it actually is quite small. You'll walk in from the garage into this long hallway and you see a row of white cabinets and you think, oh my goodness, look at all this storage. This is so amazing, but it's very deceiving. A lot of these cabinets are not in very good condition, which it's okay. We can add storage later down the road. We can take these out and we can put something else in its place. Then you walk into the kitchen and you see my pretty blue cabinet. In the kitchen space, there are 4 cabinets, and then the 5th cabinet is just drawers, 4 drawers stacked. Then on the other wall is a pantry, and the pantry looks huge. Again, when we first came here, we were so excited. We thought we're getting a bigger pantry, this hallway of cabinets, and this huge pantry is only 10.5 inches deep. So the way I make up for that is by using standalone furniture. I have this bread box that my father-in-law made me for Christmas a few years ago, and I store my bread in the top and then onions or garlic, potatoes, whatever I have at that time in the bottom. Another standalone piece of furniture that I have and use is the hutch in the dining room. In the hutch, I store extra plates. I have some of the fancy cups. I have extra Crocks and more mixing bowls. This is also where I store the dried herbs. I store that in there, and then I also store the tallow that we rendered when we got back our beef last summer. Baskets are another great way to add storage to a small kitchen and also be really pretty. I use baskets to store up garlic in the kitchen as like my quick grab garlic. And then I also store baskets on top of the refrigerator. These baskets are, one, they look pretty, and otherwise it would be empty on top of the fridge and it kind of looked strange. So I added these baskets, and then in the one basket I have our reusable grocery bags. In the other basket I have our Christmas cookie cutters. I love peg rails. I think they're beautiful and they also add extra storage. In the kitchen, I store the garlic basket, I store my measuring spoons and my measuring cups, and I also have a tea towel hanging up on the peg rail. So the peg rail beside the refrigerator I use as mostly a way to decorate and make the kitchen feel more cozy. The spice rack is new to our kitchen. We did not have it at the old house, but I just recently found it at my favorite local vintage store, and I brought it home, and I am still working out the details, but I have our main spices stored on the spice rack currently. My garlic powder, my pepper, salt, and cinnamon are our 4 main spices that we use. I also put my cute little French butter crock on the spice rack. Another thing that I do is I use glass canisters. I use the glass canisters on the counter for my flour, my coconut, and my oats, the things that I use on the regular basis. But then I also use the glass canisters to store granola when I make granola. Or if I have enough glass canisters, I like to store all of our individual nuts in those glass canisters as well. It's a great way to store those types of food products because it keeps critters out and it also is beautiful. Another really cute cottage storage solution for your kitchen is to use Crocks. I love Crocks. We have them all over. We use Crocks for the purpose of a crock. We make our own fermented vegetables, and the main one being sauerkraut. But we also use Crocks as storage. So in the kitchen, I have Crocks for all of my very frequently used kitchen utensils that I have sitting right beside the oven. And then I have a smaller crock beside the sink where I just store my scrub brush for dishes that I can't stick my hand in, so I need a little scrub brush, and so that sits in a crock beside the sink. Another idea that I have is to use a pot rack. I love the pot rack. It's one of my favorite ways to store pots. So even if we had all of those cabinets and they were all in perfect condition, I probably still would store my pots and pans this way. I find it to be significantly more convenient, and I love displaying my pots and pans. Another thing I want to talk about is open shelves. I had these in our old house and I love them, so I added them to our new kitchen here. If you wanted to do two stacked on top of each other to increase storage, that is another way to increase storage with open shelves. I opted on just doing one shelf. I have come to realize that we can get by with a lot less than I originally realized. I've learned in 1 year of living here that all of the stuff that we had, we simply did not need. So I went with one shelf and it has been enough for us. I feel like this is something that doesn't get stressed enough, that sometimes it's okay to just store something in the open. I always keep my Dutch oven on the oven. The only time that my Dutch oven comes off of the oven is if I am cooking and I need all the burners and I'm not using the Dutch oven. And in my opinion, it's really pretty that way. We use the Dutch oven a lot. It's one of my most used kitchen pans, so I don't mind leaving it out. Another item that I keep out is my teapot. We use this tea kettle every day for our coffee, and then especially during the winter, I will use it all day heating up hot water so that I can keep drinking water all day long. My pantry is deceiving how small it is. When you look at it, it looks huge. And when we first moved in, we thought we were getting a huge pantry, and we were so excited about it because at our old house, we thought our pantry was small. When we first got married, our starter home had a closet in the dining room, which was joined with the kitchen. And it was a full closet. It was huge, and by far that has been our biggest pantry. Every pantry since has gotten smaller and smaller. This pantry, although it's very wide, is only 10.5 inches deep. So it's nice because I don't lose things in the depth. It's also kind of a bummer because I can't store very much here. So another idea for storage in your kitchen is to leave your kitchen and store items somewhere else. Our home was built in 1850, so the basement that we have used to be a cellar. There are 2 cellar entrances that have been closed off, and now we have a basement entrance. That is where we store all of the food that I can from our garden in the summer. And we also store a lot of the winter squash or potatoes, carrots, things like that, that we either buy in bulk or we get from our garden. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that this video gave you some ideas for different things that you can add to your kitchen to increase the storage, even if you have a small kitchen that doesn't feel very functional. If you're new to my channel, I would love for you to hit the subscribe button down below, and I'll see you next time.